And so I like the challenge. People, that's the criticism. Fight someone in their prime who's a beast. I think people just want to see me lose. That's really what the message is behind it all. And Anthony Joshua is an insane fight.
Boxing fans never imagined this moment would come. Internet star Jake Paul, now a major pay-per-view attraction, stepped in with Anthony Joshua, one of the most dangerous heavyweights of the past decade, and the energy shifted instantly. When Jake faced Corbin Davis, he was the bigger man, calm and confident, looking ready to bully a smaller opponent. But standing in front of Anthony Joshua, everything changed. Jake no longer looked like the intimidator. He looked like the one who could lose. And everyone watching felt it at the same time. This face-off was unreal.
I just talk about Anthony, and I don't have, I'm global, so it's just such a good fight for the sport of boxing, and people will think I will die, but I will show them why I can rise against all odds and beat him.
Not everybody thinks you'll die. Tyson Fury says you'll knock Joshua out. What's your response to that?
Smart guy. He sees what I see, I think, which is a weak chin in Joshua and a guy who's very, very beatable.
Now, it's the 50th anniversary of Rumble in the Jungle in Congo. Could you imagine you fighting Anthony Joshua there at the site of Ali Foreman?
That's a genius idea.
It's possible.
It's possible. That's what we should make happen.
And lastly, if this is happening, what's your final word to Joshua as you leave Wembley, where you may face him next?
Man, I'm going to embarrass.
The fight atmosphere was intense. Jake tried to keep that usual confident smirk he brings to every event. He walked like he owned the moment and insisted he could beat AJ. He claimed Joshua's style had flaws, said size didn't intimidate him, and repeated that faith is everything, saying it again and again with the same unshakable belief he always carries.
Anthony Joshua, exclusive, because I know that I will beat Anthony Joshua. I know I will
got knocked out, right?
Yeah. He doesn't have a chin, and he has no skill, and he's stiff. And I love you, Anthony. We're friends, but I want to fight you. I will beat Canelo. I will beat a lot of people. I will not beat David Benavidez.
Then there was Joshua, calm, quiet, and ice cold. Nothing about him looked shaken or impressed. His presence alone said everything. So he didn't need many words. One man looked like he was about to face the toughest challenge of his life, while the other looked like he was about to collect the easiest paycheck ever.
What he asked for $50 million for, I'm going to give him a $50 million knockout.
I honestly listen to what people say sometimes. They're avoided, this person's running. I honestly think some people are deluded. Really, I do think that they've got some sort of a long-term concussion, because no one's running. In terms of 50 million, I'm a businessman. If there was 50 million on the table.
Then you see Joshua, calm, quiet, and ice cold, completely unmoved. The moment spoke for itself, so AJ didn't need many words. One man looked like he was about to face the hardest challenge of his life, and the other looked like he was about to secure the easiest payday ever. And that's what makes this face-off so different. Jake isn't standing next to a former MMA fighter or a smaller opponent this time. He's facing a two-time heavyweight world champion, a man with real knockout power, the same man who defeated the monster everyone warned Jake to avoid, Franken.
Could last 3 rounds with Anthony Joshua. 3, 2, 1. You've seen he's called him out, presumably.
Yeah, in 2026. I mean, that's like me saying I'm going to go for the gold at the 2028 Olympics for surfing. It's clickbait, but he might just be mad enough to have a go. It's very dangerous, very dangerous. I mean, you saw a guy who has the same size as AJ and who has much more ability than Jake Paul, which is Francis Ngannou. And you saw what happened to him, and that was scary for a while. So, yeah, we can joke about it, but I don't recommend it for Mr. Paul.
I like Jake. He's a good promoter, very good promoter. And he's a funny guy. He's got a great sense of humour, got good people around him, the key, so they know their business. There's a massive weight disparity, and that's a tough thing to give away, especially with somebody who's got so much physical advantage over him, and he's a young guy, AJ. He's not an old guy, he's a young guy. Will it happen? Who knows? Anything happens sometimes in our sport. But I think that is a big ask of Jake beating him.
As soon as this matchup hit social media, everyone said the same thing. Jake Paul is crazy. How do you go from fighting Gervonta Davis, a man half your size, to standing in front of Anthony Joshua, a 250-pound powerhouse, built to handle serious weight? How do you jump past all those levels in between? None of it makes sense.
50-pound world heavyweight champion to 135-pound, 5'6". I mean, it's bizarre. You know, you've got a cruiserweight.
As soon as this matchup hit social media, everyone said the same thing. Jake Paul is crazy. How do you go from fighting Gervonta Davis, a man half your size, to stepping in with Anthony Joshua, a 250-pound powerhouse? How do you skip every step in between? It made no sense to anyone. But to understand how he ended up here, you have to look back at the chaos that led to this moment. There was no real reason for Jake Paul to be fighting Anthony Joshua right now. He was supposed to face Gervonta, Tank Davis, and the entire boxing world was buzzing about it. Fans were taking sides, debates were everywhere, and the hype was massive. Jake was much bigger than Tank, and many people believed he could actually beat him purely because of the size difference.
Jake Paul, shouldn't he?
No, he shouldn't.
You don't think? Sorry. So, I thought we were all unanimous here. You think that
shouldn't.
You think Jake Paul beats Gervonta Davis?
70 pounds is 70 pounds.
Gervonta Davis is very small. 5'5".
He's tiny, bro.
5'5".
That's
You
what I'm
got
saying.
Jake Paul
He's a little
6'1".
man.
If Jake Paul's tucking up,
move on,
and absorbing punishment for walking forward.
But that entire storyline collapsed overnight. Tank's legal situation suddenly exploded, with reports of kidnapping and battery allegations from a former partner. Once lawyers stepped in and court dates were scheduled, the fight with Jake Paul was instantly canceled.
Tank Davis did something awful again, and no, it wasn't scheduling another fight with Jake Paul. He beat a woman again, and once again, I'm not talking about Jake Paul. If you know Tank Davis, you know he has a lot of run-ins with the law. This is actually a civil suit over a certain criminal case that was dropped earlier, and while everyone is innocent until proven guilty, this looks really bad for him. While all the details aren't out, we know the details from the original case, which was basically a shut case with a lot of evidence that he did it. That, along with his prior incidents, innocent until proven guilty, but yeah. You know, if you do something like 6 times, people are going to believe you did it the 7th. So why is this coming up again? Well, now we talk about Jake Paul. There were a lot of theories that the reason the original charges got dropped, despite it being pretty clear that he was going to get convicted, was he convinced her to stop pressing charges so that he can actually schedule this Jake Paul fight. Because it was announced the day after the charges were dropped. The Jake Paul fight isn't for another week, so does this put this in jeopardy? No, probably not, because it's a civil lawsuit. I don't know how keen Netflix is going to be promoting a massive fight for tens of millions of people to see with one of the stars being on trial for something like that. So I'll let you know more as more details come out, but I don't think it's going to canceled, but it might.
There was no fixing it and no way to save the fight. Tank was buried in legal trouble, and Jake watched months of hard work and promotion disappear overnight.
With or without the ankle monitor on?
That's corny. That's super corny. I don't know how much I weigh.
And the handcuffs too.
Huh? What are you talking about, fam?
How do you win this fight?
That outfit is trash. For real. That outfit is garbage. And that hairstyle. Anybody that ever rocked a mohawk is a clown. We all know this. Anybody rocked a mohawk. Name
You want to see clowns? You want to see clowns? Gervonta, you're the clown, buddy. You're the clown, Gervonta. Any man who puts his hands on a woman is the clown.
Tank wasn't some easy opponent, and losing that fight frustrated Jake. He was angry, disappointed, and annoyed. Tank was a big name, and beating him would have looked amazing on Jake's resume. So when the fight collapsed, Jake immediately started searching for a new opponent. He tried going after Francis Ngannou, but nothing came from it. Even as time passed, Jake didn't slow down because Jake is Jake. And out of nowhere, he went after the man who had knocked Ngannou out cold.
A little bit here, and Anthony Joshua, there's rumours circulating he could be fighting Jake Paul next. One, do you think it's good for boxing? And two, do you think the fight will happen?
I think it's great for boxing. I think the fight will happen. AJ is 1-0 against these guys that come in to these boxing careers late. So why not? He's a perfect guy to take him out too. He took Ngannou out. Why would he not take Jake Paul out? And for him, he probably make more money fighting Jake Paul than he will fight anybody else that he can fight right now. So why would he not do it? I mean, not that he needs the money right now anyway, but he's going to do something if he want to get a good win to put him back on the scene.
Jake Paul went after Anthony Joshua, and he didn't just jump up a weight class. He leapt into a whole new world, skipping every step and breaking all the rules. Everyone is watching, whether they like him or not, because they want to see if Jake finally gets knocked out. Dana White even warned it wasn't smart. This isn't a fight Jake should take, and he could get seriously hurt. But that's exactly why it's must-see. Anthony Joshua isn't Ben Askren, Nate Diaz, or Tyron Woodley. He's a world-class heavyweight with top-tier skills, strength, and experience sparring guys who could break lungs. And now Jake is facing him live on Netflix. It's wild. Joshua once knocked out Francis Ngannou, a man who had never been down before, leaving him out cold for minutes. Stepping into that ring, Jake was staring at someone who could lift him with a single punch. Yet he tried to hide his fear. AJ, calm and commanding, didn't need to say a word. The image alone told the story, showing who really owned that ring.
But Anthony, listen to me. Don't take a dive with this Jake Paul, mate. Do not do that, not for $1 billion, my pal. Don't do it. Don't do as the others have done. Do not take dives. If he fights you, knock him dead as a nit, and good luck with it.
So I said he's going to bet £1 million on Jake Paul knocking out Joshua.
This is what I'm saying. How's that work?
He can't, can he?
Anthony Joshua could knock Jake Paul out with his dick. So if it goes any other way, you know.
You give me a headline there, by the way.
If it goes any other way, you know it's fucking fixed.
The craziest part is that Jake has wanted this fight for a long time. Many people think this matchup happened out of nowhere, but he's been hinting at it for years, saying he was good enough and wanted to face the best. But no amount of training, months or years, can truly prepare him for someone like Anthony Joshua. This is a different level, a different world, a different universe. And that's why many people consider this the wildest decision Jake has ever made. The pros are already reacting with laughs, shock, and disbelief. Some call it reckless, others call it insanity, and nearly all agree on one thing. Most expect the fight to end with Joshua seriously hurting Jake Paul. They're convinced there's no other outcome. But here's the twist. While Jake might leave this fight in an ambulance, he'll also walk away with one of the biggest paychecks of his career. Joshua will cash in too. The event will explode. Netflix will pull massive numbers. Streams will go crazy. And both men will leave with pockets full, no matter how brutal the result inside the ring.
I don't like the fight.
No?
I don't mind it. Listen, I get why AJ would do it. It's big money you're going to get, and you know. But to me, he has to go in there and brock up Jake Paul, and he ain't going to do it, innit? Because there's probably some sort of.
Well, you don't think he can brock up Jake Paul?
No, I don't think he'll go out there, he'll school him, but he won't. Listen, if AJ, if that's a proper fight, they're not even lasting around.
Yeah, well, we saw Mayweather knock out Logan and hold him up on the ropes. We saw that, innit? You get me? Mayweather knocked out Logan and he held him up.
AJ versus Francis Ngannou. Look what he done to Ngannou, the UFC
No,
fight.
but I want to see that. But I want to see that against Jake Paul, Black.
Yeah, everyone wants to see that, but we ain't going to see that.
And that's like a Motorola, fam. Did you see that?
That's I wasn't even thinking of that. So look at Ngannou, look at the size of him, look how dangerous he is and what AJ did to him.
This is the thing.
Round one. Imagine if he went out there. That's why I can't take that serious.
Eddie Hearn saying he was supposed to do an undercard fight anyway, against someone that no one knows. But he's going to do 8 rounds against Jake for tens of millions. So he's still getting his little run out before the new year.
Broski.
And then he's supposed to fight Fury next year. That's what Turkey's saying.
Don't you as a boxer, don't you get infuriated with these type of fights? Be real.
Nah,
what are you talking about?
If you get offered a Jake Paul fight and you tell me you're not taking it, bro, I'll lose it.
Wait, hang about.
Them things, they change your life.
He started all of this. Him,
he started.
But influence on
This is how the fight game works, and Jake knows it. So does AJ. That's why this matchup is happening. The sport thrives on risk, chaos, fame, and money all rolled into one. Jake Paul thrives on the unpredictable and loves when nothing goes according to plan.
Get it, right? If someone knocks on your door and says, do you want to fight Jake Paul for 100 million? You're like, you'd be stupid to say no. No, I don't want that 100 million for what would be and will be and should be easy work for AJ. Like, well, why are you going to turn down 100 million? AJ should and could, should knock out Jake Paul in a round. Like, if Jake Paul was over here fighting under our British Boxing Board of Control, I don't think it would be a Southern Area cruiserweight champion. AJ is a former unified heavyweight champion of the world that I still believe is a top 10 heavyweight in the world. Like, AJ should be able to destroy him. AJ is going to be 60 pounds or so bigger than him. AJ hits like a truck. AJ is a better boxer.
Jake knows how the fight game works, and so does AJ. That's why this matchup is happening, because the sport thrives on risk, chaos, fame, and money all rolled into one. And Jake Paul loves the unpredictable. He walked away from Tank. Anna said no, but Jake didn't stop. He chose the most dangerous path he could. Everyone calls this fight a bad idea, yet everyone wants to see it, making it one of the biggest events of the year. Jake believes he can shock the world, while others expect AJ to terrify him. Soon, the bell will ring, and the truth will unfold under the lights. Fight night is coming, and one thing is certain. Jake Paul isn't afraid to chase the impossible. Anthony Joshua isn't afraid to punish, and fans aren't afraid to witness chaos live. This is Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul, a fight that changed everything. No one wanted it, but everyone will be watching.